You gave everything. You were available. You were consistent. You were honest. You showed up. You put in the effort that most people never even attempt. You were, by every reasonable measure, the better option. And they chose someone else. Not just romantically. In business. In friendship. In every room where you deserved to be taken seriously and weren't. You did everything right. And somehow, the person who did less walked away with more. You have been telling yourself it was luck, that they just have better circumstances, better looks, better connections. That is not what happened. There is a specific reason certain people occupy mental space without effort. Why their absence is felt harder than your presence. Why one sentence from them lands deeper than an entire conversation from you. Why people who barely know them are already loyal to them, while you have been putting in months and getting nothing back. It is not charisma. It is not confidence. Those are symptoms. This is the root. The human mind does not attach to what is constant. It attaches to what is unresolved. And the people who dominate your thoughts, who live rent-free in your head at 2 in the morning, are not there because they gave you more. They are there because they left something open, something your brain cannot file away and finish, something that keeps pulling you back to solve it. They built that deliberately, or they stumbled into it. Either way, the mechanism is the same, and right now you are on the receiving end of it. Niccolo Machiavelli spent his entire career studying this. Not love, not relationships, power. Specifically, why certain men command rooms they barely speak in. Why certain rulers hold loyalty without demanding it. Why some people, stripped of title, wealth, and position, still control the minds of everyone around them. In The Prince, he drew a line that most people never see. He said the strongest form of influence is not control over someone's actions. It is influence over their thoughts. Make a man act against you, and he will resist. Make a man think about you constantly, and he will eventually move toward you on his own. That is the game, and almost nobody knows it is being played. This video ends that. 7 laws. Each one exposes exactly how psychological occupation is engineered, how presence becomes permanent, how absence becomes weight, how someone who says less makes you think more. By the end, you will not just understand why certain people have always had this power over you, you will have the blueprint they were using. Stay with me, because what you are about to learn cannot be unlearned. And once you see it, you will recognize it everywhere. In the people who fascinate you, in the people who manipulate you, in the mirror. Let's begin. 1. Stop trying to be around them more. Get inside their head instead. Most people confuse proximity with influence. They believe if they stay visible long enough, close enough, available enough, they will matter. So they show up everywhere. They fill every silence. They respond instantly. They extend every conversation past its natural end. And then they wonder why they are taken for granted. Here is the truth. Familiarity is the enemy of fascination. The more available you are, the more ordinary you become. The human brain does not hold on to what feels ordinary. It files it away and stops paying attention. You become furniture, present but unnoticed. Machiavelli observed that the prince who makes himself too accessible loses his authority. Men value what they have to work for. What is given freely is treated as worthless. This is not about playing games. This is about the fundamental mechanics of perceived value. The goal is not to spend more time with someone. The goal is to live inside their mind after you leave. Those are 2 completely different objectives, and almost everyone is pursuing the wrong one. When an interaction ends and the other person's mind keeps returning to it, you have won something far more valuable than their time. You have won their internal attention, the kind that happens in private, the kind they cannot turn off. That is power. That is what Machiavelli would call occupation of mental territory. How do you create it? You leave before the energy runs out. You say less than they expected. You end the conversation at the peak, not at the fade. You give them something to think about, not an answer to every question. The brain does not hold on to what is complete. It holds on to what is unfinished. Give them a fragment. Precise, interesting, unexpected. Then stop. Watch what they do with it. 2. The second they think they know you, you've already lost. The human mind categorizes everything. It is efficient. It scans a person, finds a pattern, creates a label, and stops paying close attention. Predictable, safe, already understood. The moment someone believes they know who you are, you have lost them. Not because they dislike you, because their mind has filed you away. There is no mystery left to solve, no reason to keep looking. Obsession does not grow from certainty. It grows from complexity, from the feeling that there is more beneath the surface than what is visible, from the quiet sense that you have not quite figured this person out yet. Most people destroy their own intrigue by revealing everything too quickly. Their opinions are immediate, their reactions are automatic, their emotions are obvious. They show every card in the first 10 minutes because they think transparency builds connection. It builds comfort, not magnetism. Machiavelli wrote in The Prince that a ruler must be a great feigner and dissembler. He must appear one thing while being another, not because deception is virtuous, because complete transparency hands your enemy a map. And in the arena of influence, your opponent is predictability itself. This is not about lying. It is about selective expression. You choose when to show intensity, when to show restraint, when to be warm, when to be distant. The variation is controlled. The pattern is yours to design. When someone cannot place you in a single category, their brain stays alert. They keep paying attention. They keep collecting data points. They keep trying to solve you. And the moment someone is trying to solve you, they are already thinking about you more than they intended. You do not need to be mysterious by performance. You become unreadable through emotional discipline, by not reacting automatically, by not filling every silence with an explanation, by allowing contradiction to exist in your presence without apologizing for it. Be calm when tension is expected. Be sharp when warmth is expected. Never be the thing they predicted. That unpredictability does not create confusion. It creates gravity. 3. Never let them feel 100% sure about where they stand with you. Certainty is comfortable. Certainty is also forgettable. When someone knows exactly where they stand with you, exactly how you feel, exactly what to expect, their emotional engagement drops to zero. The equation is solved. The loop is closed. The mind moves on. Controlled tension is the opposite. It is the space between connection and full clarity. It is the feeling that something is there but not yet fully defined, that you are interested but not yet certain, that your warmth is real but not unconditional. That space is where the mind lives. It moves into that gap and sets up residence. Machiavelli understood that desire is not created by giving people what they want. It is created by making what they want feel just beyond their complete grasp. Not withheld cruelly, not dangled manipulatively, simply not handed over freely. In his discourses on Livy, he noted that men fight harder to keep what they have partly earned than to receive what is simply given. The investment creates the attachment. The same principle governs psychological influence. When your emotional position is not fully defined, people invest mental energy in decoding it. They replay your tone. They analyze your timing. They search for signals. That search is not distress. It is engagement. Deep, persistent engagement that happens inside their mind without any effort from you. This requires emotional steadiness. You are not creating tension through mood swings or mixed signals. That creates distrust. You create tension through consistency of character combined with variability of access. Your presence feels intentional. Your attention feels selective. Your engagement feels chosen, not automatic. That difference is everything. When someone feels your attention is guaranteed, they stop valuing it. When they feel it is available but not certain, every moment of engagement becomes significant. Significance becomes memory. Memory becomes obsession. Drop this in the comments if this already describes someone in your life. Unresolved. You will understand why that word matters before this video ends. 4. Don't try to impress them. Make them feel sharper when you're around. People do not remember who made them feel comfortable. They remember who made them feel more aware, more sharp, more capable, more like the version of themselves they are always trying to reach. When someone leaves an interaction with you feeling elevated, something happens in the brain. It creates an association. You become linked to that feeling of expansion, and the mind returns to the sources of its own growth. This is not about being impressive. Impressive is temporary. Impressive wears off. This is about being generative. When you are around, something moves. Something becomes clearer. Something shifts in the way they think. You do not achieve that through advice. You achieve it through the standards you carry quietly, through the questions you ask instead of the answers you offer, through the level at which you operate, which forces those around you to operate at a higher level simply to keep up. Machiavelli's ideal prince did not lift his subjects through speeches. He lifted them through the weight of his own competence. His presence alone communicated what was possible. That silent communication was its own form of dominance. When your focus is sharper than the room, when your thinking cuts through noise while others are still reacting to surface, when your composure holds while everyone else fractures under pressure, you become a reference point. People begin to calibrate themselves against you. And when someone is calibrating against you, your presence lives in their mind even when you are not physically there. You become the standard they are measuring themselves against. That is a deeper form of presence than any conversation can create. You do not need to tell people you are operating at a higher level. Your behavior tells them, and they feel it. The contrast is visible. And contrast, as Machiavelli knew, is the engine of perception. You are not impressive because of what you say about yourself. You are impressive because of what others discover about themselves when they are near you. Make them better in your presence. They will never stop wanting to return. 5. Stop being the same person every time they see you. The brain does not remember what stayed the same. It remembers what changed. Emotional flatness is the death of psychological impact. When you operate in the same tone, the same energy, the same mode for every situation, your presence becomes predictable. And predictable means invisible. People stop truly registering you. You are there, but you are not felt. Contrast resets the system. It creates an emotional spike. And the brain encodes spikes. It files them as significant events, as moments worth revisiting. This is how psychological imprints are created, not through consistency of warmth, not through sustained intensity, but through unexpected shifts. If you are calm and precise most of the time, a moment of sharp, dark humor lands like a detonation. If you are focused and serious by nature, a rare moment of genuine lightness feels like a gift. If you speak rarely, the words you do speak carry an entirely different weight than the words of the man who never stops talking. Machiavelli described the ideal prince as capable of being both the lion and the fox, ferocious and cunning. These are not the same mode. They are deliberately different. The prince who can shift between them fluidly is the one who cannot be countered. You cannot defend against a fighter whose next move you cannot predict. Apply this to your emotional presence, not as a performance, as a weapon. Choose when to be warm, when to be cold, when to engage fully, when to pull back without explanation, when to say something that cuts through the entire conversation and silences the room, when to say nothing at all and let that silence do the work. Controlled variation is not inconsistency. It is sophistication. The people who fascinate you most are not operating in a single mode. They contain multitudes, and you sense that there is always something more beneath the surface that you have not seen yet. That feeling keeps you looking. Become someone who people have not yet finished discovering. They will keep coming back to complete the picture. The picture should never be fully complete. 6. Leave while they still want more. Never stay until they're done. This is the law most people cannot execute. Not because it is complicated, because it requires killing the part of you that needs the moment to last. The part that wants to hold the connection just a little longer. The part that is afraid that if you leave, the energy will not be there when you return. That fear is the trap, and giving into it destroys exactly what you are trying to protect. Every interaction has a peak. There is a moment of maximum engagement, maximum energy, maximum connection. Most people push past that moment. They let the conversation run until the energy fades naturally. They stay until the ending feels like relief, not interruption. And relief is the most dangerous feeling to leave behind. When someone feels relief at the end of your interaction, they do not want more of it. When someone feels that it ended too soon, that the conversation was still rising when you pulled away, that feeling stays with them. The brain expected continuation. Instead, it received absence, and that gap creates an itch it cannot scratch. Machiavelli warned repeatedly against overstaying one's position. A general who remains in an advantageous position too long invites counterattack. A prince who extends his presence in a city past the point of welcome generates resentment where there was once loyalty. The timing of withdrawal is as strategic as the timing of entry. Exit while you are still wanted, not when you have exhausted the welcome. This communicates something critical without a single word. Your time is structured, your presence is intentional. Your life does not hinge on this interaction, and that signal elevates your value immediately. The person who leaves first is never the one who needed it more. Leave at the peak. Walk away clean. Let the conversation continue in their mind without you. That is where your real presence begins. 7. The moment they sense you need them, you've already lost the game. This is the law that makes all the others possible. And it is the law that most people violate before they even open their mouth. Need is visible. Even when you think you are hiding it, it leaks. In the speed of your response. In the way you check to see if they laughed. In the slight shift in your behavior when you sense their approval drifting. In the over-explanation that nobody asked for. In the extra sentence you added at the end to make sure they felt good about you. They felt it. They always feel it. And the moment they feel your need, the entire dynamic changes. Not because they lose respect for you as a person, because the structure of the relationship shifts. You are no longer someone they are choosing to engage. You are someone whose emotional stability requires their participation. That is a burden, not an attraction. Machiavelli was blunt on this point. In The Prince, he wrote that a ruler who relies on the goodwill of others has built his fortress on sand. The sand shifts. The fortress falls. Power must be built on what is internal, on preparation, on self-contained strength, on a structure that does not depend on outside conditions to hold. The same principle applies to influence. When your emotional state does not visibly shift based on whether someone responds, approves, or engages, your presence signals something rare. It signals a man who is already full, who is engaging from surplus, not from scarcity. Surplus is magnetic. Scarcity is repellent. You cannot fake this. It has to be real. You have to build a life where your sense of forward motion, your clarity of purpose, your internal stability actually do not depend on any single person's attention. When that is genuinely true, people feel it. They begin to move toward you without pressure, because people do not chase what is available. They chase what feels valuable. And nothing signals value like a presence that clearly does not require their participation to remain complete. Do not seek approval. Do not fish for reactions. Do not adjust your behavior to manage their comfort. Engage with full presence when you choose to engage, and then step away without apology. That is the rarest position in any social dynamic. Warm but not dependent. Interested but not attached. Present but never seeking. The moment they realize your world functions without their input, they begin to wonder what it would feel like to be part of it. That wondering is the beginning of everything Machiavelli understood about influence. These 7 laws are not a performance manual. They are a structural shift in how you operate, from chasing to positioning, from performing to selecting, from visibility to gravity. Most people will finish watching this and then go back to the same patterns. They will send the double text. They will explain themselves when nobody asked. They will stay too long. They will give too much too soon. They will signal need in 100 small ways and wonder why nothing holds. That is not stupidity. That is conditioning. You were taught to give more to get more, to be transparent, to be trusted, to be available, to be loved. Machiavelli spent his entire career watching that strategy fail. He watched princes who were loved get overthrown the moment loving them became inconvenient. He watched leaders who needed loyalty lose it the moment circumstances changed. He understood that true influence is not built on how people feel about you in the moment. It is built on what your presence means to their mind over time. Occupy their thoughts, stay unreadable, build tension without aggression, elevate them by your proximity, shift your emotional register with precision. Leave before the energy peaks, signal nothing that looks like need. Do those 7 things consistently, and you stop being someone who competes for attention. You become someone attention gravitates toward. That is not a personality trait. It is architecture. And architecture can be built. The word you dropped at the beginning of this video was mental territory. That is what you are building now, not presence, not charm, not likability. Territory inside the minds of the people who matter to you. Territory that belongs to you even when you are not in the room. If you are ready to go deeper into how Machiavellian power actually works in the modern world, subscribe. Subscribe because you recognize that there is a game being played around you at every moment, and you are done being the one who doesn't know the rules. You have been awake long enough to see the strings.